8 Key Tasks and Breakthrough Solutions for Socio-Economic Development Plan in 2025.
Trump will not rule out using military or economic action for U.S. territory expansion.
Ukraine attacks Russian command center in Kursk amid fierce fighting.
Hello everyone, you are watching today's news on NTV channel. My name is Đăng. Let's get started. During an online conference with local authorities from across the country, the government outlined 8 key tasks and breakthrough solutions to achieve socio-economic development goals for 2025 and the 2021 to 2025 period. These measures also lay the groundwork for the socio-economic development plan for 2026 to 2030.
With the theme, Discipline and Responsibility, Proactiveness and Timeliness, Streamlining and Efficiency, Acceleration and Breakthrough, in 2025, the government will focus on directing the synchronized implementation of Party and National Assembly resolutions and conclusions, concentrating on 3 strategic breakthroughs, 6 key tasks, 12 main groups of solutions and 185 specific tasks to reach the targets and indicators. The main targets are striving for a growth rate above 8%, an average consumer price index, CPI, at around 4.5%, multidimensional poverty rate dropped by about 0.8 to 1%, along with 71 other indicators. Among these, institutional reform is identified as the breakthrough of breakthroughs.
U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has refused to rule out using military or economic measures to expand U.S. territory. This includes the possibility of seizing control of the Panama Canal, Greenland, and even making Canada the 51st state.
Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure
In a
you
press
that.
statement 2 weeks before his inauguration, Trump stated that Greenland and the Panama Canal are vital to U.S. national security. He suggested he would impose tariffs on Denmark if it resists his offer to purchase Greenland, which he said is vital to U.S. national security. Shortly before Trump's comments, his son Don Jr. arrived in Greenland for a private visit with no official meetings. However, Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen reaffirmed that Greenland is a part of its kingdom and not for sale. Trump also indicated that he was willing to use economic action to annex Canada into the U.S. The Canadian government immediately strongly opposed these statements. Trump previously made a shocking move by declaring his intention to reclaim control of the Panama Canal, which was transferred to Panama under former President Jimmy Carter's agreement in 1977.
Ukraine's armed forces have announced a precision strike on the Russian command center near Biray village in Kursk province. This comes amid ongoing intense fighting between the two sides in both Kursk and eastern Ukraine.
The attack came just days after Ukrainian forces targeted other Russian command centers in Mariano and Lvov. On the same day, Ukraine's General Staff reported repelling 94 Russian ground assaults in Kursk province, which accounted for nearly half of all clashes across the front. The Russian military at its turn claimed it had successfully repelled the latest Ukrainian offensive in Kursk and defeated 9 Ukrainian brigades. The fighting in eastern Ukraine also continues fiercely as both Russia and Ukraine seek to gain advantage on the battlefield before U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration on January 20th.
Coming up next are some updated news.
According to the Ministry of Planning and Investment's Foreign Investment Agency, Vietnamese investors pumped nearly $664.8 million United States dollars into 164 new projects and 26 existing ventures abroad in 2024, up 57.7% in value as compared to the previous year. Thus, after a rather quiet year in 2023, overseas investment is showing signs of accelerating again. The Foreign Investment Agency said that in 2024, mostly in the fields of science and technology, processing and manufacturing industry, electricity production and distribution. The countries receiving the most investment from Vietnam in 2024 were Laos, 28.8%, followed by Indonesia and India.
The People's Council of Nghệ An Province has approved the conversion of 1.1 hectares of planted forest to implement a project connecting wind power from Laos to Vietnam's national grid. The 220 kV Trong Son Du Luong power line will transmit electricity from the Trong Son wind power plant in Laos to Vietnam. The project spans over 40 kilometers and passes through Tan Chuang and Du Luong districts. It has an investment capital of 593.94 billion Vietnamese dongs and is expected to be completed by the end of 2025. The project aims to address electricity shortages in northern Vietnam and boost energy cooperation between Vietnam and Laos.
The Transport Development and Strategy Institute, Vietnam Superport Company and China Railway Group 16 Vietnam under the China Railway Construction Corporation have signed an agreement to advance rail logistics infrastructure. Alongside the Lao Cai, Hanoi, Haiphong rail route connecting Vietnam and China, logistics centers will be established along the line to facilitate cross-border freight transportation. This initiative will enable more efficient and cost-effective goods transportation within Vietnam and across borders.
Funding from National Target Program has provided thousands of workers from disadvantaged districts with opportunities to work overseas. It has been a key factor in helping many households escape poverty and achieve long-term security.
From a poor household in Tan Duong village, Tan Chuang commune, after 5 years of her husband working abroad in Taiwan, Vyt Jiang's family now has a prosperous life. Not only her family, but 67 other workers from the commune have also received support for language learning, vocational training and loans, from which they have successfully gone abroad for work. As a result, the poverty rate in the commune dropped to 25%.
Since my husband went abroad for work, our family has become wealthier. The local authorities supported us with 50% of the capital and assisted with the paperwork, making the process much easier.
Since 2022, under the National Program for Sustainable Poverty Reduction in the 2021 to 2025 period, localities in Nagi and have been proactive in reviewing and creating favorable conditions for laborers. In 2024 alone, Nagi supported training for nearly 200 workers, with 152 workers having already left for overseas work. Over 4,200 workers and their families have received counseling to work abroad under contract. We have approved applications for over 40 workers, mainly from Tan Son and Ngoc Lam communes. Each worker is supported with tens of millions of VND for vocational training, language courses, and career guidance.
We always review and create opportunities for poor households to borrow capital for overseas work.
Nagi workers mainly go to work in Japan, Taiwan, Korea, earning an average monthly income of 20–25 million Vietnamese dongs. To facilitate labor export for the poor people, Nagi province is continuing many solutions, prioritizing poor, near poor and ethnic minority workers, aiming to increase the number of exported workers and contribute to sustainable poverty reduction.
This is the end of the show today. Thank you for watching.